is Reinasun. Welcome to my channel. Please sit back, relax, and let me do the ranting for you. Now, let me start off by saying this. This show, and the state that it's in now, is not good. That being said, I do not hate anyone involved with this show. Of course I don't. And I don't wish any ill will on the cast or actors because they're doing the best with what they were given. Okay? I mean, look at me. Listen to my voice. Do you really think I can have serious opinions on anything? No! But what I do have an issue with are poorly written characters and shows. And today, I have beef with Galadriel. Oh yeah, we got some beef to talk about. From episodes 1 through 3 of Rings of Power. So, let's get started, shall we? You know, I'll admit it, when this show first was announced, I had my reservations. I feel like a lot of people did. And, I mean, $1 billion is a lot of money. Like, that's a stupid amount of money. You know what I mean? You know how much sushi I could buy with $1 billion? At least 4. Nonetheless, I went in without reading anything about it. I watched the trailer. Then the extended edition of Lord of the Rings again to emotionally and mentally prepare myself.
Potatoes.
Prepared to charge into battle by sitting down and watching the show. And I thought, oh, okay. No, the show actually happened. This wasn't a fever dream. It actually happened. And I had to sit through this.
Do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot? Because the stone sees only downward. The darkness of the water is vast and irresistible. The ship feels the darkness as well, striving moment by moment to master her and pull her under. But the ship has a secret. For unlike the stone, her gaze is not downward but up, fixed upon the light that guides her, whispering of grander things than darkness ever knew.
I don't think I've ever encountered a show where it feels both too slow and too fast at the same time. And I don't think I've ever encountered a female lead this frustrating since Captain Marvel. So, let's start from the beginning. In case you haven't seen Rings of Power, or maybe you don't even know what it is, let me break it down for you in little hobbit-sized bites. Rings of Power is a show on Amazon based on J.R.R. Tolkien's world of Middle-earth, chronicling the tales of several characters, both old and new, as a kind of prologue to the trilogy we know and love today. The series ended up being a $1 billion investment from Amazon, and in a lot of ways, it shows. The environment is enriching, the clothing is immaculate, and I will admit that looking at the scenes from the movie, my breath was taken away at the beauty. But looks aren't everything. There has to be substance that keeps me watching. And one could argue that the pretty lights and colors in Rings of Power are merely a distraction from the areas that it falls short in. Its writing and character development, which is hands down the most important aspects of a compelling story, are awful. There are a few characters that I feel are lacking in this show, but the most grating and the most prominent of those characters would be the protagonists that we're meant to rally for.
Who is this mortal who speaks to me as if he has the slightest idea who I am?
Our protagonist of this show is the immortal Elder Galadriel, commander of an army born of elven blood and thousands of years old. Some would even consider Galadriel, at the point of Lord of the Rings, as a god in many respects. Yet, in this show, she is characterized as a child. She is petulant, stubborn, and wanting very much to just bulldoze her way through every obstacle. If you tell her she can't do something, she will glare at you, until she gets her way somehow. And I mean it. She will glare at you. Just look at that glare. Look at it. Look at it.
Stand aside, that I might present my proposal to one who holds the authority to answer it.
Rather than showing cunning and prowess, perhaps even a glimpse of the charm she shows in the original trilogy comes off as egotistical, angry, and downright narcissistic. Now listen, I'm all for character development. I love seeing an arc and growth within characters. I feel like if we're going to compare this female lead to an equal of sorts, we need to look no further than Rhaenyra in House of Dragons. I'm not going to spoil anything in that show, and I will say that show has some moments where I think that it falls short in a few ways, but what we can definitively see in Rhaenyra and House of the Dragon is development. In a lot of ways, she even shares Galadriel's traits. She's stubborn, she's haughty, and some could say she's egotistical, but we experience it with her. She starts as a child, and although there are time jumps that occur, you still feel like you grew with her in a way. And you understand her struggles. You are rooting for her. You can see why she is the way she is. Now, let's focus back on Galadriel. Do we experience anything that can help us relate to Galadriel? Do we watch her grow? Do we see depth to her character in a way that those in her environment do not see? In a word, no. We do not. We have one scene with child Galadriel building a boat that gets destroyed by other elven children, and her brother pulls her aside to talk to her and give her a lecture on life, kind of akin to the scene with Mufasa mentoring Simba. And yet, his analogy kind of falls flat on its face.
The ship feels the darkness as well, striving moment by moment to master her and pull her under. Her gaze is not downward but up.
I mean, what does that even mean? What? From there, we see Galadriel be better than everyone at everything. She can fight. She can navigate. She can probably even jump to the moon if she wanted to. And who's to stop her? I mean, seriously, there's one scene where she has a group of soldiers with her because she's a commander, and there's a snow troll, and none of them fight it but her? And she even uses one soldier's sword to become airborne and do a flip and attack the troll, and it's like, what even is the point of her having a team if she can just do everything herself? Why are they here? What I would have wanted to see is Galadriel having a heart-to-heart with these men. I would have wanted to see Merry and Pippin-style interactions and a bit of camaraderie. Instead, everything just feels rushed through. How do you have 8 episodes with each one being like an hour and a half long? Yet I feel like things aren't really happening. And if things aren't really happening yet, why don't we see any character depth? Why not spend one full episode fleshing out Galadriel's character? Expand on the brother. Make their relationship true and substantial rather than a plot device for her to be on the hunt for Sauron. Have her expose her innermost thoughts and feelings when she is alone. Make the world feel real and like things have weight to them. It took 4 episodes for us to see Galadriel smile, for goodness sakes. Why? Why? She doesn't lack the range, or the actress doesn't anyway. She's thousands of years old as a character. Galadriel should be at a point in her life where she is not acting so stubborn and childish. I mean, I'm 7,002 years old, and I am more mature than Galadriel, probably. The same can be said of the other elf. He is stoic, almost to a fault. I think in a lot of ways, Amazon used the hobbits in this franchise to kind of be lighthearted and fun in a way that should be actually meshed with his main character. I think what ended up happening was they spread themselves too thin. Rather than fleshing out their main character and weaving in other characters over time, they instead chose to tell 4 stories at once, with none of them having proper development. Maybe it's too much for them. Because I'll tell you right now, this
Clear and clear.
Does not feel genuine. It doesn't feel like these are people living in Middle Earth. They feel like caricatures. I can only hope we get more from Galadriel as time goes on. I know the actress has stated in interviews that the show will see her morph into the Galadriel we know and love in the trilogy. But for the show's sake, I hope it happens sooner rather than later. Because I can't imagine watching her glare for even the rest of this season, let alone 4 more. Anyway, this has been a short Reina Rants. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. I will start to do videos like this every week. Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you disagree? Let's have a conversation. Let me know down below. What show or character should I talk about next? Thank you so much for your time. Hope that you eat well, rest well, and stay hydrated. And each day you're being the best you can be. Thank you. Love you. Bye.